Ladies, welcome to the Feminine Mystery. My name is Azalea Dawn, and on my channel I talk about leveling up, femininity, hypergamy, and everything you need to get into the relationship, the right relationship, with a masculine provider for you. Excuse me. So if any of that sounds interesting for you, then please check out the rest of the videos on my channel and subscribe if you like it. If you're joining me here again after subscribing, thank you so much. I'm thrilled to have you here. Today's video is all about how to be pleasant company and get invited out every single weekend. Now, when you're in your level up journey, one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself in leveling up is to start social networking, right? To start to expand your social network, especially to get into the affluent community. You want to start to be out and about, to get the invitations, to be in the private spaces, to go to, social gatherings, to parties in people's homes, to anything that people are doing where a large amount of affluent people are gathering, so that you can start to build relationships in the affluent community. And in order to do that, you just have to understand that people have a lot of options. And in order to, make sure that you're the person who gets invited, right? Who gets invited out every single time, to make sure that you're the person who, when people are drafting lists of I want this person here, I don't want that person here, you have to really make sure that it's pleasant to be in your company, that other people like to be around you. Because at the end of the day, it's one thing to, get a membership to a country club, or to, go to like a high-end Pilates class and, start to, mingle and meet people and talk to people just like a little bit here and there. A lot of us can do like that level of social networking, but to really turn it up to the next step where other people like us, they think of us positively, they like to be around us, and they are actively seeking out our companionship, we really have to practice being pleasant company. So I wanted to make a video about that, and if this sounds like the right topic for you, then keep listening. My first tip for you is to create an alluring personal presence. Now, personal presence is so much more than just how you look. It's how people experience you when you are physically around them. So that does go into your, actual appearance, but it's also about your grooming, your hygiene, right? How does your skin look when you're around other people? How does your makeup look, right? Especially when you're indoors with indoor lighting and other people are just looking straight at your face in person. You don't want to have makeup that looks good on camera, but like in person it looks kind of, crazy, right? How do your clothes look when somebody is actually close to you? Are things wrinkled or are they smooth? Are the materials nice quality materials, or do they look, a little bit cheap? And how do you smell when other people are in your, personal space? Are you wearing a perfume, or are you just leaving it to chance and smelling like whatever was going on in your home before you came here? So you want to make sure that all elements of your personal presence are taken care of, that you are being deliberate with your choices, that you're dressing yourself well, that you're using great perfumes, that you're really making sure that every part of you is well groomed and well maintained, so that other people just enjoy being in your presence in a practical sense, because not everything has to be super complicated. At the end of the day, if the only thing that's standing between you and another invite out to a social gathering is that your breath is, a little less than fortunate, that's something that is simple to fix. You really want to make sure that your personal presence in all aspects is taken care of as a first priority. The next thing that you want to do is practice light, easy conversation topics. Now, have you ever been in a social situation where there was somebody who just really hated small talk there, and they just, launch into these incredibly, almost inappropriately, deep questions? They start asking you things like, what's your deepest fear? What's your trauma? What are you struggling with in life right now? And it's just, a little too much, a little too intense. Or maybe you've met somebody who, they have their own drum that they're there to beat, and they immediately launch into some controversial topic, like something political or some global event that's happening that is a little bit controversial and polarizing, right? Have you ever just felt a little bit trapped in a conversation with somebody and not quite sure how to get out? Well, if you have if that resonates with you, you want to make sure that you're not doing that to other people. So really practice, some light and easy conversation topics. A lot of times the reason that the reason that we struggle with small talk is because we don't quite know what to talk about. But you want to start to think about topics that are easy, that are universal, and that lead you to finding common ground with other people. Things like what they do as hobbies, places that they've traveled to, because travel is a big topic in the affluent community. Where people, went for their education, that's also a big topic within affluent communities, right? Anything that people are doing to improve themselves and work on themselves, or any sort of productive hobbies that they have, also a great thing to talk about. And it's a way to sort of build common ground with other people and let people talk about themselves without you necessarily launching into these really hard to stomach topics. So making sure that you're practicing light and easy conversation is essential, because you don't want the reason that you didn't get that invitation to the next place, or that you didn't get another invitation out, to be because you immediately launched into how people feel about the Iraq war. Right? That's just not the level of conversation that you want to have. So you want to make sure that you're keeping things light and easy when you're out and about. Now, my next tip for you is to make managing your mood a priority. It may seem like this is not related to social grace, but trust me, it very much is. Our mood is everything, especially as more emotional women, people who might be deeply sensitive. If you are a feminine woman and your mood fluctuates, especially around a certain time of the month, it's really important that you be intentional with actually managing your mood and making sure that you're in a good space to interact with other people before you start those interactions. People really do sense your energy and feel your energy when you're in their presence. So if you are somebody you're in a mood where you're feeling very confrontational, you're kind of looking for a problem, you wind up attracting other people who are looking for a problem, and you wind up getting into a problem. If you're somebody who maybe you're feeling a little bit sad, a little depressed, you wind up in situations where you start to spread that energy to other people, and they feel depressed in your presence. And especially emotions like anxiety and fear, those are particularly infectious. And when other people start to associate your presence with negative emotions, that's going to mean that they're not going to want to have you around, right? It's like that classic quote by Maya Angelou, right? People may not remember what you said when they were around you, but they're going to remember how you made them feel. And if you are making other people feel, negative in your presence, that's not a great way to continue to be in their presence. You really want to make sure that your own mood is being actively managed, maybe by having a little bit of a self-care routine, right? Making sure to get ready slowly and deliberately and apply your products with love. Making sure to, maybe light a candle in your space and have a bit of a self-love ritual. Whatever it takes to make sure that you feel good before you go out, I definitely recommend doing it. My next tip for you is to learn to briefly make your presence known. Now, when it comes to, what it is that you do when you're actually at somebody's social gathering, how much time you spend there, you definitely have to be somebody who's able to read the room and understand the situation, right? Being able to intuit what's going to be appropriate of you, because there are going to be times when people really want your presence there, and there are going to be other times when you don't really have that connection with somebody, where maybe your presence is wanted for a certain portion of time, but it's not wanted, into all hours of the night. So you really want to start to be conscious of that and be able to still commit yourself to going and appearing at certain functions, to appearing at social gatherings, but really just making your presence there brief, right? You want to make your presence known, but you want to keep your presence brief, right? You don't want to, if you are, for example, like you've met somebody and you are invited to a gathering at their home, right? You don't want to be a part of that group that's there till 2 in the morning if you just don't have that kind of relationship. They may still have people who are particularly close to them, especially if they're a couple or something like that, who are there deep into the night, but that doesn't mean that that needs to be you if you don't have that kind of relationship with the person who has invited you, right? You want to make sure that you are reading the room, reading the situation, and that you know when it's your time to go, right? There's a lot to be said for making your presence brief and elusive. You want to make sure that people see you, that people hear from you, that people experience your presence, but then when it's your time to leave, you want to make sure that you are picking up the hint and that you are on your way. Now, finally, ladies, you want to master the art of simple gifts. Now, when it comes to elegant gift giving, a big part of that is discretion and understanding, again, being able to read the room, read the situation that you are walking into, and intuit whether or not giving a gift at all is going to be appropriate. If you've decided that, coming bearing a gift is going to be appropriate, right? You are going especially to another woman's house, right? Because I don't believe in giving gifts to men personally, unless like this is a colleague or something, but even then, I think maintaining that masculine and feminine role is going to be very conducive towards you in multiple social situations and across multiple cultures. But if you are in a situation where you personally feel that giving a gift is appropriate, you want to make sure that you do it with discretion. So when you enter somebody's home, you don't want to, just like stand in like the main entryway with everybody watching you, right? And then give your gift right there. You don't want to be ostentatious with your gift giving because other people may not have brought that gift. And also in different cultures, people really believe in the evil eye. They don't necessarily want other people to see them receiving something. So you really want to make sure that you wait until there's a proper moment, right? Where you've maybe like entered into a bit more of like a private area and then like discreetly give your gift to somebody else. Or like just tell somebody, I've brought a gift for you. Is there somewhere that I can leave it? Right? And then just doing something like that. But you really want to make sure that you're practicing discretion with gift giving. And then when it comes to the gifts that you actually choose for other people, you want to make sure to just keep it simple, right? Because there are gifts that are lovely, that are thoughtful, but there are also gifts that are a burden to other people. You make people feel like they have to return the favor, or that they have to get you something, or that they couldn't possibly accept this thing that you've given them, right? And that just creates, like more negative feelings surrounding you and your presence. So you don't want to, be like a bit of like a showboat or a show off, or give somebody something that is just too much of an imposition for them. You see that kind of behavior on like the Real Housewives, for example, like the idea of like revenge gifting somebody. Right, like giving them like this huge inconvenient and like over the top gift. I think also like Christine Quinn did that on Selling Sunset. She sends this over the top bouquet of flowers to Heather for like her wedding, and she just kind of like questions like what was the intent there, right? You don't want to be like that kind of gifter. You want to make sure that you're giving people things that they're going to appreciate, that they might get some use out of, and that are simple and appropriate for the occasion. Now, ladies, that's going to be it for me today. If you've enjoyed this video, then please leave it a like below and check out the rest of the videos on my channel. I talk about leveling up, femininity, elegance, and hypergamy, and everything you need to get yourself into a relationship with a masculine provider. This has been Azalea Dawn, and if you've enjoyed my videos, then please subscribe. And if you have subscribed, thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you again in my next one. Until then, bye. Now, ladies, that's going to be all for me today. If you've enjoyed this video, then please leave it a like below and check out the rest of the videos on my channel. Until my next video, I'll see you then.